Welcome everyone to another episode of Let's Talk Special Economic Zones. I'm your host Ainsley Brown. I am the Senior Director for Regulations, Policy Monitoring and Enforcement at Jamaica's Special Economic Zone Authority. In today's episode, we are going to discuss the role of customs authorities within special economic zones. Customs plays a critical role in special economic zones. In some jurisdictions, in fact, it is the customs authority that administers the zones. In others, it's a separate authority, and in fact, in most, it's a separate authority. But even with that separation, the customs authorities do play a critical role, and their role extends, which is typical of their regular role in the regular economy, of being trade facilitators, border protection, particularly around um, narcotics, guns, human trafficking, and so forth. They also are revenue collectors, as is often um, said, the negative side of what they do, but they are all three of those functions are critical functions within um, an economy, and that extends to the special economic zones. In fact, in the free zones of old, uh, the role of customs sometimes was not quite clear. However, with the revised Kyoto Convention, um, the WCO, World Customs Organization, um, revised treaty, it's clear. It's made clear that customs has a degree of control. They may not necessarily charge duties on items going in a zone, but they do supervise goods going in and out of a zone. And that's of critical importance because it will determine the speed by which things move in and out and the success of a zone. In Jamaica, for example, I'll give you an example of their role, which extends beyond the three areas. The Customs Authority sits on the Special Economic Zone Authorities Board. That means that upfront they are there in decision making in relation to who gets in and who's renewed and such and so forth, and sets down broad policy directions. Additionally, they function as a due diligence mechanism through which we coordinate and cooperate. In fact, the legislation gives them some specific powers around excise items or certain special items that have been deemed excise, such as alcohol and tobacco. And they are from the application process of somebody wishing to become a special economic zone or enter the regime as an occupant or a developer or single entity. They're given powers to ensure that certain logistical and security arrangements are acceptable in order to safeguard those special excise items. And that's just an example of that role within a special economic zone. But they are um, the major main border control agency when it comes to goods. And an SEZ, in effect, is another border. It may be within another country or within the country, I should say, but it forms another border. So, in effect, it's unless the SEZ is a port itself or airport itself, you may have a case where uh, items are being transported from one border, that is the country, and then from that border to the zone, which is another border, and then vice versa, out to go out for export purposes. And the customs authorities are to have supervision. What that looks like is going to vary per jurisdiction. Of course, with modern technologies, you have GPS tracking and other types of technologies that can be deployed where you don't necessarily need to have customs escorts, which do happen and are of value. But the point I'm making is that with technology, you have greater options. You also have situation of scanning of containers, or even searching of items, depending on risk-based analysis. Many countries have, whether it's a Asakuda system or other types of customs management systems, they have these systems, and of course, they're also deployed within special economic zones, and they help the customs authority manage the goods flowing in and out of a zone, in and out of the country, and so forth. So the customs authority plays a critical role in special economic zones. Thank you. If you liked what I had to say today, please like, share, or leave a comment. Please leave any suggestions that you have for future episodes, and bye for now.